Okay, we're back here. So I got some food on the stove finally. Chopped up some vegetables, dumped them in a pot. Things are boiling-ish. Yeah. So we left off. We got the sentry gun somewhat working. It's finicky. It's not behaving perfectly well, but it's something. It's a good start. It's a good momentum forward. And we just got to keep moving the gears and getting progress. So the task at hand will be to get the aiming behavior down to a reasonable acceptance. This will involve using ray tracing, various other things. When it comes to ray tracing, we're probably only going to ray trace blocks. We're not going to do ray tracing entities because we don't care if we're going to shoot through an entity. The bullets will hit the entity and that'll be fine. We'll of course add settings for this so that way people can enable both ray tracing behaviors. That should do the trick on that. We got to adjust the aiming. As you saw, it was being sporadic with the aiming behavior. Really quickly, what I'm going to actually do for that is I'm going to drop the rotation speed down to 5 degrees a tick. Still seems a bit fast. It'll work though. This of course is going to be controlled via the Sentry gun data. So Sentry gun data actually does control rotation speed, I believe. There's not a variable in there yet. We'll get to that later. Almost all of this will be controlled via the JSON, and then of course there'll be an upgrade system, and there'll be a pre-approved upgrade system per Sentry gun. So some Sentry guns will accept some upgrades, some will not. This will be all handled via the JSON. The goal is to just migrate all data to a different system. Okay. So we're aiming at that thing, and it looks pretty good. Seems to be flaking out a little bit here. Okay. Not behaving-ish. Rotation speed's still a bit high. Drop this to 1. I need to reset this. The entity should be dead. It's not. So let's see, where are we at here? Here we go. Okay, I got rid of that one. So if we place a new one, we should get a new angle, and it's still being fidgety. That is rotating really quickly. You know what we're going to do? We're going to change the selector to friendly, and we're going to get rid of the mobs. That way I can control what's spawning. So we're going to go to using, I believe, yeah, we'll just switch it to living selector, and it'll just aim at me. Not going to aim at me? No, you're going to aim at every, okay, you're going to aim at sheep. So you found a sheep to aim at, cool. E, remove living, goodbye. Why aren't you aiming at me? Because living selector probably is... No, you do an entity selector base. I think you do at least. No, you only select living. Select living is going to be entity living. I want select living base. Just do a player selector. What in the flip are you doing? I am honestly trying to figure out what this thing's doing, and I feel like I'm going to have to do a text render real quick. So we need this, and we need to do render text. Cool, you're inside of a push pop thing, so I don't care about side. It's not actually what I'm trying to render. So we want a scalar, we want a max value. I have no clue how this is used. We're just going to pass in a 1-1 at it. And just going to actually just put it here, so we're going to translate it to the entity position and we'll go from there. Okay, time, set day. That's just going to make me sick. Should be set to rendered facing the entity. Where's my grappling hook mod? Grappling, 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 grappling. Because the grappling hook mod has code in here to do this. So it should be in the entity render hook, maybe? No, it's not there. It's going to be item hook render. No, it's not going to be there. It's going to be in the client. Render particles, render floating text. Why is this not a method in the, actually, did I get this from the system? You know, hold on, there might be something. So render floating, there is a system for this. Okay, so position, then color. And then we want to move this to be outside of the translate method because it's going to translate it for us. Position's going to get passed into here. How does this work? Just translate it. So we want to pass in rx, ry, rz, and then color dot red dot get RGB. Okay, that works. We need to then plus that. This is what it helps so much to have prefabs. Okay. You should be, one, aiming at me, because you should be a player selector, and you're not. Yeah, select player. For some reason not working. Oh, that is just not functioning properly. I need the pitch value. Debug, more debug, more debug, more debug. Believe it or not, this is how we actually tested the early versions of the Sentry guns. Or rather, I tested the early version of Sentry gun. I did most of the coding for that. Okay. I can't get to target because that won't help. That's a server-side value. Hey, you're aiming at me. Awesome. You're having so many issues aiming at me though. There's a rounding error somewhere here. It's a high possibility the delta time's acting up. Yeah, the delta time is completely warped. Look at that. That's too high of a number. So delta time is calculated up here, and you know why it's not working? Last rotation update equals system.nanotime. So we need to reset this back to rotation speed. There we go. Fixed. Can you pitch properly? You need to be inverted from negative pitch to positive pitch in your render code. Don't need this, don't need that, don't need that. Probably need to leave that open still. Okay, I need to go find your render because I closed your render. Okay. You're rendering pitch properly. Are you aiming at my feet? Yeah, you're aiming at my feet. Okay, so I need to recode you to aim at my midsection. So we get target here. Add, actually, we target dot pause x. This dot target that pause y. That's target that pause z. Okay. It is now aiming at my legs, I guess. Looks like the rotation code needs to be updated still. It's hard to see. You know, why are we using this thing? We got beam renders. Why am I not using the beam renders? Let me go find the gun real quick, because we're going to have to go copy this from the gun instance. Part of the reason we're not using this is I didn't remember how to program it when I went to go use it. Okay, this should in theory work. Aha! Much more useful. Okay, you're still aiming at my feet though. I want to see what height equals. 0.9. That means he should still be aiming at my torso. Oh, actually, the laser's not going to do the... you know what, we're going to actually kill this. And... we'll hit play real quick so I can close it properly. Save and quit. What we want to do is cache my center point. So I'm not recalculating this every single tick. So we'll put this up here. We're not going to initialize it here. Okay, so we're going to make a method. So public void set position double x double y double z, and we'll go center equals this. Make sure this isn't a client-side method. There's some of the methods that are client-side versus not client-side. Okay, that works. Then we're going to set it to x, y, z. So I'll get our center point. Then we want to recalculate our aim point, but we want to store our aim point in here so we can use it for the ray trace. So that'll be aim point. And these are both going to be protected methods. So we come down here, we get our aim point. I will make a data object for this here later, which will wrapper our target. So we'll have something that will use the pause system, but will not actually be a pause. And every time you call XYZ on it, it'll give you exact location of the entity. But for this, we want to pass in center, and we want to pass in aim point. And that should improve our situation on the rendering. What are we at on 20 minutes then? It's been like 20 minutes and my brain thinks it's been an hour. Probably because I can smell food being cooked. Not exactly the best food. I will have to admit this. It's basically carrots, celery mixed in broth. It's food though. Can't complain. When you're only making like so much money, you gotta pick things. At least it's better than eating ramen noodles. although I'm probably going to mix ramen noodles in it anyways. So I'll get the Sentry gun system all working. This will work out pretty well. So I think I did decide, yeah, we're going to have the tile actually do the rendering, even though I just set the whole entity up to do rendering. We'll figure it out. Probably will transition back to having the tile, because tile renders run better, in my opinion. But it doesn't really matter any. Whatever way we decide to go with is whatever way it works. The JSON data won't make a difference. So it'll just run the data. So if we decide to transition from tile back to entity back to tile, it won't mess with the data at all. Okay, you're aiming at me again, and you are shooting me in the center. So, cool. Now I just gotta get rid of that stupid particle effect that's still spawning for some reason. Why are we spawning the particle effect still? You see that, right? Oh, because we're running it still here. And this will be if engine.running as dev. Make sure that that's a debug only thing. Okay. Cool thing is the farther you get away from this, the better it tracks. So as I get farther and farther, it's doing a lot better job tracking me. Although you can't even see it render at this distance. I gotta see if that's a fixable thing, like I could adjust the render distance of certain things. But yeah, cool, so we're good. Next thing would be start making it shoot projectiles and do various other things. Aim mechanic, has ammo, is aimed, so this is good. Valid target needs more work, so this is where we're going to have to do ray traces. We're also going to want to start doing something like this. If ticks, that's actually not a horrible way. Ticks existed. %2 equals 0. This will make it run every other tick. And of course our rotation code should keep up with this, because our rotation code is based on the delta, and the amount of time between first and last call changes. The reason we want to do this every other is we're going to run a lot of ray trace code, and we want to make sure that we can still see the target. So in here, we just want to make a ray trace pretty much. So we're going to go center dot ray trace world aim point. I believe this actually want to ray trace blocks only, so because we just want to make sure we're not going to hit a wall or something, like the target's not hiding behind a wall. So moving object position. So we want to make sure we do this real quick. So we want to go is alive, because if the entity is not alive, there's no point in doing a ray trace. We want to then go if hit equals null or hit is a miss. Cool. And we should get a ray trace behavior off this, and time set day, game roll, do day night cycle files false. And how this will work is if I put a block in front of me, see the beam stopped? It's gonna find me again. Come on. It should be researching for targets at some point, but it's not. Probably because the minimum delay of research hasn't been hit. So if there's no target, or target equals null, target of course equals null, because I don't know why we're setting it to null again. There's probably like an is valid check in here or something. We got a loss timer, so there's a timer that went off that basically said how long we're going to wait until we lose target. Target search timer keeps going up until we eventually find new targets. And why isn't this running? Okay, target's null. Okay. Target search delay is 10 seconds. So we want to know when it hits here. Or 10 ticks, which is actually going to be a second. We go in here. We got a bounding box. It found an entity. Okay, the ray trace is failing. Ray trace is failing because we're probably hitting ourselves. That'll fix it. There we go. Okay, now we're waiting on its target reaccuracy gain, so it basically has to wait for so long before it'll retarget. It's got a target loss timer, so it'll wait so many ticks before the target reappears, which it's probably already lost the target. And then it's going to wait so long before it searches again. And that bouncing, by the way, you saw is the reason why I want to render this from the tiles, because the entity moves ever so slightly. So if we hit F3B, we can actually see the hit where the box is on this. Why are you researching for me? Okay, find target. Uh-huh. I'm not a valid target. It's not wanting to run properly. Okay, I'm totally alive. You know why this isn't working? I have to calculate the aim point. And I need to calculate the aim as well. Actually, I could just do it this way. Cool. To the Euro angle, clamp to 360. Oh, crashed the game. Probably because, yeah, target height. This needs to be entity. And copy this, bring this back down. Make a helper method for this actually. Protected, pause, get. The reason I did that real quick is I can go here and go get aim point target, and that recycles some code there, makes it a little cleaner. Protected, either angle, get aim rotation. Actually, we're not going to recycle that because I need the aim point to be able to do that, and we already have the aim point here. Anyways, relaunch, and this we'll call it quits as soon as I can confirm this is actually ray tracing properly, because I need to make sure I don't burn my food. And then I don't know if I'll do another video today. I think I'm just going to solo work for a while. Actually, I probably should hit up some homework. A couple reflection papers to write. I already started on one, so I don't have much work to do there. Probably nib at the other one, see if I actually want to bother. I need to start studying for an exam that I still don't know what's on that exam. It's just like covers week between this and this. I'm like, but are we supposed to cover the key concepts? Are we actually to memorize those 4 programming languages we learned? Like literally, I've got a class that you had to learn 4 programming languages. Literally had to learn C++, Schema, Lisp, and Prolog. And I know them decently well, but I don't know them well enough to rewrite them from memory. Which, by the way, the irony of the class is called Intro to Programming, but that literally is probably the hardest class I've seen at that university, because you have to master most of the concepts you will ever learn in that class in the first half of the semester, from week 1 to 7. From week 8 to 14, you have to master 4 programming languages. And we're not talking about like doing basic things like 1 + 1 = 2. We're talking about list manipulation, complex algorithms, so like Fibonacci numbers. I guess it's not too complicated, but the list manipulation was pretty... did I crash it again instantly? Get aim point. Oh, because we messed that up. Relaunch again. Not paying attention. Too focused on food. Let's see, anybody hop into my TeamSpeak yet? There's fire in there.
Microphone muted.
Forgot to mute my mic though, so my icon's been probably blinking for a while. I was expecting to see Grogger show back up, but I think he said he had an appointment later today. Okay, close that down. Yeah, we'll keep working on this and hopefully get Sentry guns in a reasonable state that I can complete my client Sentry gun. We'll have to do GUIs, so this will probably take me the rest of the week to finish out. Because the GUI system will have to tag in the permission system. I'll have to go make sure the permission system is finished. I'm pretty sure I finished the GUI for it at some point. I don't know if it's in the current version, but if it's not, I'll have to go find the old one and just recopy it and update it. The plan is to do, when you go to edit your permissions, is to do a full screen permission editing system. So like most mods do that little gray GUI in the very middle of your screen. That's cool. That gets you pretty good when it comes to manipulating machines and objects. I want to do a full screen system. So when you click open edit, you'll have a full overlay. It'll give you much more room to edit things. So you'll see all your permission nodes on the one side, or actually you'll see all your groups on the one side, and then you'll click a group, and then you'll see all your permission nodes for that group. You'll click a user in the group, and you'll see all his permission nodes, and you can sit there and edit them and change them, manipulate them, and work with them. Then you'll be able to set up global permission ID systems, and when you go to your Sentry gun, you'll just input the global ID, and that'll be how we'll handle it. Because I don't want to do localized permission nodes for sentries, to be honest. It's just too much work to have the Sentry gun memorize its own permission sheet and then have it then switch to a global system and back and forth. So instead of having to deal with that, we'll just do one sheet and we'll be done. What I may do if I don't have time to do the GUIs, we'll just do a command-based system, because I know the command-based permission system works. What were we testing again? We were testing to see if the ray trace worked, and it looks like it's working. Okay, lose target. You gonna refine me? Yeah, working. Cool. So I'll end this video here, and I'll get some more content out for you guys later.